All right, let's check out the markets today. Okay, so Aussie CAD looks to be doing exactly what I thought it would. Just continuing down below this moving average. Would have been a really good trade if you're able to get in at this area that I talked about yesterday. Right here. It is moving very good towards its monthly low within the range. So Aussie CAD is good. Aussie Swiss, kind of the same thing. Broke this area yesterday. It's continuing to go down. I am in this trade, so I do want it to continue to go down to these 57 level, which it appears to be doing, following right perfect with the trend. Moving quickly here. So Aussie yen struggling in this area, will probably continue down, especially if the other Aussie pairs are trending down. This one is likely to follow. I don't believe it'll start retracing back, or I guess continuing the trend upwards until next week. So for now, we're just waiting. This isn't an actual trade here. It's going to delete that. But we're just going to wait until this starts kicking back up. You can see it's really struggling in this area. This is a 4-hour supply area. It's really struggling, broke this moving average. So we will just wait, because I do not want to counter trend that trade. So we will just wait. Aussie Kiwi is right at the moving average. I believe it's going to range back down. It doesn't really, Aussie Kiwi doesn't really trend. It just kind of ranges up and down. And I think it only moves like, it's like a 300 or 400 pip range every month. Yeah, 258. So less than 300 pips every month it moves. It just kind of ranges. So I'm not touching that either. That's a boring pair. Aussie dollar. So making its way back down. Hit its resistance up here at its monthly high. And now will most likely just trickle down. I don't think it'll necessarily get all the way down here for the month, but should just keep trickling down, breaking these areas of resistance. So that is Aussie USD. The Aussie 200 index, the ASX here, seems to be hitting this area once again. It's a little bit below, but I would say it's in it. I mean, if you just extend this down a tiny bit, we're already in it. So this is looking to turn around. I would wait on this one as well. Maybe another day or two, or maybe into next week, but probably in the next couple days you'll know for sure, depending on how today closes and tomorrow, and then obviously the weekly. That'll give you a clear sign for next week, and then heading into August, most likely a big short, because this doesn't seem to be able to break this area. Struggled back in March, April, June. So and with the interest rates going up everywhere and everything else, it is likely that this will start trending downwards. It did break below this moving average a couple times, and then eventually it's going to stay below that moving average. So I will wait on that one as well, but I'm going to watch it. I do think that'll be a good money maker soon. CAD Swiss, so finally it hit this area of resistance, did its full monthly range of 300 pips. So now it looks to be finding some bullish support here. You can see it's printing a bullish engulfing candle on the day. There's still 6 hours left, but looks to be pretty promising. So CAD Swiss might start heading up, which is great. Most likely retrace back to this area, and it'll take its time doing so, I'm sure. Probably take a few weeks, well, maybe a couple weeks to get back up to here. Probably the rest of the month, and then most likely head back down, or at least test this area again. So that is what we will wait for CAD Swiss. CAD Yen looks to be finding its way back up, just like I kind of said it would. First target obviously is this area, and then the next target will be here. This will probably be a next month kind of thing though. But who knows, maybe you'll get a lot of action towards the end of the month. It does happen. But this is good, and it's good that it found this area of resistance as well. So now price is most likely to hold this area. If it comes back down to this area, it'll most likely hold even after it breaks this upper area. If it ever decides to retrace, which I'm sure it will, this area will function as a form of resistance and keep it from going down unless it completely switches the trend. But so that is CAD yen. Swiss yen I did buy as well. I'm headed to this 164.5 level. So far it's doing pretty good. This is what I'm looking at here. Something like this. I don't know my exact entry, but something like this. So yeah, that seems to be doing really well. I really like Swiss yen. I think it's obviously very bullish. Tends to only go one direction pretty much. So I think Swiss yen's becoming one of my favorite pairs. It's just very consistent, which I like. Oh, so the dollar index, you can see that it did resist this area and now it's printing some very bullish momentum upwards. So appears to be retracing like I said it would back into this level. A lot of bullish momentum right now actually, which is surprising, but no, that's good. I think it's just going to continue moving back up to this area. Oops, and then eventually retesting this moving average, but who knows when that'll be or what'll happen then after that. But I think this is good to pay attention to. So that means like pound USD, euro USD, I'm willing to bet are retracing back now as the dollar is gaining strength, but we'll check those out soon. Euro 50, I am actually in this trade. I want this to go downwards. You can see it's resisting this area, but it's taking its sweet ass time. But I do believe that once it drops, it'll really drop. It's kind of this little area here. Maybe we can get a better look on the 4 hour. Yeah, something like this. Really need it to break this little spot here, and you can see that it's making a lower high here. Bearish candle engulfing this last 4 hour candle. So like it is showing good signs. But I just got to be patient. I mean, I'm in the trade, so I'm just going to hold it for a few more days and hopefully make some money on it. I got to close it before the weekend, so hopefully I make some money on that trade. Euro AD seems to be resisting this area again. If anything, it's even into this upper area here that it is resisting. So there's two areas of resistance here that are right next to each other, which is a good sign. See it really struggling with this 165. You can even up this to like 166 right there. We'll move this up 50 pips as well. So this is kind of your monthly range. If this decides to come down, which it is bullish, look at this moving average, but it is resisting these areas. So tough to say, might just have to wait. Obviously we'll see how today closes, and then tomorrow if today if this closed right now, which obviously it's not, there's 6 hours left, but if this closed like this today with over 50% of the candle wicking in this area, and then tomorrow prints a bearish engulfing candle that is bigger than this current one today, then I would say it's a safe entry to head lower. But until then we have to wait because I'm not counter trend trading this and it's too risky for me. Euro CAD making its way down, finishing its monthly retracement. So this was its full monthly move here, which was 500 pips, and now it is retracing back down. So this is the first level, this 50% level, 146.31, and then most likely will get stuck in this area, probably meet this moving average somewhere over here in this area, and then decide on what it wants to do, if it wants to keep heading up or if it wants to do a full retrace and head lower. So we'll just have to wait for that. I don't really see an entry or anything right now. Kind of missed it. The entry was up here, so there's not really any good position there to take, but we'll just watch that and see if it keeps continuing to go down, which I think it will. Okay, Euro Swiss. Struggling with this zone, but I do need it to break. I'm not in this Swiss trade, but I'm in others that reflect the same, so I need this to break this area so it heads lower, which I think it is doing. It's just taking time. Can maybe break it down. So this is your 4-hour area, so it needs to break this area, which tried here, is trying again, and is likely to break it. Is following this trend real nice. So Euro pound busting up, going to retest this moving average and retest all this area of resistance, so that's interesting. Did not see that coming. I thought it would have busted this zone, especially here, but things do happen. You can't, you're not always right. Most of the time I am wrong, but you got to be profitable when you are right, and still profitable even when you're wrong, actually. So it's kind of the key to trading. But so I guess we'll just wait till it comes up to here and test this moving average and this area, and then maybe take a trade off that. But there's a lot of bullish momentum right now today, so I would not touch that at all. Euro yen struggling to break this area, so we'll see if it never came down and touched this 50 yet technically, so might do something like this still to end the month. So no trades on the euro yen yet, we'll just have to wait. Euro kiwi testing this zone for the 3rd time. We'll move these up here to your 180 level, nice whole number. If you look at your monthly range, it's about 650 pips, so if it does decide that it actually does want to come back down and retest this moving average, this is what it'll look like. I don't think there's a good trade yet, but I do think there is one coming. I mean, theoretically you could take something like this. I don't love that yet because it did find support here. You can see it came up, came back down, but found support, and so there might be a chance that there's enough bullish momentum to push through this zone, so I don't want to take the risk, but I suppose you could. I mean, it has respected this zone 3 times. It is a nice whole level at 180 here, so I mean you could take it, but I don't think it's the best trade. I think your capital could be utilized better elsewhere. Euro USD coming down, just like I said. It's found it did its full monthly move. Now it's retracing back to this area, this 50% area. The dollar index, the dollar is gaining strength, so it's going to push this down because they are inversely correlated. So this is all showing the good signs that I wanted to see. It's nice when the markets behave like you want them to, which doesn't always happen, but it's nice when it does. So nice bearish candle it's printing today, so this is most likely to continue down for the rest of the month, probably slowly, but we'll just trickle down kind of this area. Then we'll see what happens then. No trades yet on that. Pound AUD. Finally, this seems to be kind of coming down, but so there was the resistance zone here below this resistance zone, but now it's meeting this support area, so it has to break this area, which is deciding if it wants to do it right now. You can see, so just have to wait, but this would be interesting. I think pound AUD is I think the trend is changing. I think this is previous. You can see how many times in in the past that this has respected this area. So back in 2022, 2021, so you can see all these previous weekly candles also respected it. So it's showing signs it's going to turn around. The pound is looking weaker on all the other currency pairs as well, so it does look like this is going to turn around and end up bearish. So I would just wait. If this breaks this area, then it'll most likely head down to these lows, which would be the monthly range kind of thing. So we'll see if this breaks this today, and then if it does, it's most likely just headed lower there. Wow, pound CAD in 3 days moved its exact, wow, I can't make this shit up here. So this is literally a perfect trade. Resistance on the month, it didn't hit its full range, but it was very close, so I would count it. It really did kind of hit its full range, and now it's retracing the full month and just happened to do it in basically 2 days. So you can see how well this 69.70 level is holding this now. So we'll see how today ends. Usually moves about 129 pips in a day, and it's already moved 231, so it's almost double what it normally moves in a day. So it's a big day. But like I said, the pound is weakening across all other currency pairs as well, so that makes sense that it came down this much. So no trades yet, but we'll just have to wait and see. This is interesting. It moved this much. I'm curious if it's going to break this area and what it does when it tests this moving average. So it might actually become, yeah, you can see it respected this area before. Very bearish week already, so we'll see how this week closes. Oh, pound Swiss, perfect. So this is really nice to see. I am in this trade. I took this one right here, so it looks to be about to hit my my area of profit right here. So obviously this is a major zone that it's going to struggle to break, but most likely will, I do think. But it's going to take some time. I'm going to get out of this position relatively soon. Once it hits the 10.5 range here, the 110.5 here, this white line, I'll most likely get out of the trade. But because there's so much bearish momentum right now and it looks really healthy, so I'm just going to hold it. So that one's good. And then I might look for a retracement trade of some kind, but not yet. Obviously it's going to take a few days to find its support, and you need it to find support before you decide to take a retracement trade, because you never want to go against this momentum. Pound yen also coming down, so yeah, tested this zone, failed. It's breaking lower. The pound is weak, or weakening, so there's this area here. You can see there's a lot of bearish momentum coming into it. Odds are it will break this area, continue lower, and shoot for this 175.5 area for the month. And then, yeah, I see that playing out really well. I don't see a trade yet, but I do see that happening. All right, pound Kiwi. This is what I've been waiting for. So tested, failing. We'll have to break this zone, and then is most likely heading lower. So right now you got a daily bearish engulfing. It's not closed yet. There's still 6 hours, but you can see the bearish momentum coming in. And if it's enough to crack this zone, I think it'll go. There's a little bit of, there is resistance here, so there's another level here would have to break, but I think once it hits that area and breaks this one, then it's smooth sailing all the way down for a while. probably to test this moving average actually. So we'll wait on that, but I still have this one marked. I'm still watching it for when I want to get in. So pound USD following its same thing as Euro USD. It's pretty much almost made its full retracement. It's been a big day, which is good. We'll see how it reacts at this zone, see if any trades form. If you want to extend the trade or extend the pair back up, which I don't know about yet. I think the dollar is gaining strength obviously, so I wouldn't really want to buy this anytime soon. I would just kind of wait and see where it finds resistance first. NAS 100 continuing its way up slowly. Don't really understand it, but just gonna wait on the sideline with this one and just see. Odds are it's going to hit this major zone. You can see in the past this was the previous highs ever back in 2021. So odds are it will test these again, and I do not think they're going to break. I think that will be the all-time high again for the NAS before it starts retracing down. I think interest rates are catching up with everything, and I think these overvalued companies are going to start bleeding money and revenues will be down. And therefore, the NAS 100 will not be able to continue trending upwards. NZD CAD, bearish, just continuing its downwards move to its monthly low range. Don't see any trades here yet, but it's doing what I had guessed it would do. NZD Swiss, I'm also in this trade, broke this zone yesterday, almost came back up and retouched it for a perfect entry. I still got in early, but it's just going to continue down here to this 53 level ideally, and then take some profits. That'll be its full monthly movement, and then maybe some sort of retracement back up to this area next month kind of thing before entering more lows. So just try to make our money off this movement, and then maybe a little bit of money off the next movement retracing, and then go from there. NZD Yen struggling to break this zone, but does not appear to have any upwards momentum to break higher, so we'll most likely break this zone and just kind of trickle down a bit to this level here, test this moving average and see what it does there. See how the other yen pairs are doing, because if they start getting upwards momentum, odds are NZD yen or Kiwi yen will as well, but until then I don't see this moving upwards, and I don't really see any trades that would be worth the risk to take. Kiwi dollar hit this area, lots of bearish momentum coming out of it. With the dollar gaining strength now as well, I think this is just going to continue down to this 65 level here, somewhere in here. And yeah, that's all I see with that one. Oil, I've been watching, I've been waiting to hit this short. It is kind of happening right now actually. This is a pretty good trade, I would say. Right at this moving average. Get a 9R right now. You got this daily candle wicking pretty hard. You got price on a 4-hour coming into this area, and now the next 4-hour candle pretty much engulfing it. So, and there's still almost 3 hours left. So we'll see how that 4-hour candle closes. But I would say oil is a good short. With the dollar gaining strength again, it should push oil back downwards, because as the dollar increases in value, there's more buying power, so it devalues the commodities, which oil is. So as the dollar gains strength, the oil goes down. So I'd say this is a pretty safe bet here to take this trade. This nice area, nice whole level here. It's rejecting the $77 level, and then the monthly range is $13. So with a few big days, which oil does seem to move in big days, you can see previously like this. So it seems crazy that this could move like $13 in 2 weeks, but it definitely could. I've seen it many times. So it's probably a pretty safe trade to take that oil trade. Ooh, so this is actually a great learning lesson. So I did take this trade, something like this. I don't remember the exact spots, but I did have to hedge it. All of a sudden there was a ton of bullish momentum that came into the market. This candle right here, which was absolutely nuts. I actually had to hedge it on based on this 4-hour candle. So just way too much bullish momentum. And ideally, like when I took the trade, these candles weren't here. So like it was based on this, which was, you can see that like price respected this area, came up, busted this area, came up, was retesting this area and failing. So I thought it was a very good short. Like this was my trade here, more or less. So I don't remember what the exact position, but it was very similar to something like this. And then obviously this bullish momentum came in, and so instead of taking a loss, I decided to hedge it. So now I have a buy and a sell somewhere in here, and so I'm just letting it kind of do its thing. It's obviously retesting this area, and then what I'm going to do is once this bullish momentum runs out, which ideally it should within this week, see how tomorrow and Friday how price closes. Hopefully it respects this area, and then I might look to sell more up here and then just kind of make money on the way down, close my buy at break even here, and my sell, and then my sell up top here will make money. So I should be able to hedge my way out of that and make some good money actually. But really surprising that this much bullish momentum just came out of nowhere and pushed up to this area. Did not expect that. It goes against everything. I mean, the price was bearish, this moving average, everything. So, but sometimes you can be horribly wrong, and it just is what it is. I mean, I did my due diligence. I did everything. I did technical analysis properly. I was very disciplined with my entry and everything. I waited for all these confirmations, and then something just crazy happens. But the best thing you can do is just be ready for it. Expect price to go against you horribly, and then be ready for it when it does. So that is what I'm waiting for here. S&P 500, same thing as the NAS. So I'm going to find so there is some weekly resistance here actually. So this is interesting. We will see how this week closes. Right now it's looking pretty bullish, but we'll see how it closes, and we will see how it continues to react in this area. Who knows, it might not push higher, but there's a lot of resistance up here as well. So we will see what happens with that. I don't want to touch it because I don't like this one. USD CAD kind of pretty flat. I mean, it is bearish, but it's hardly moving because both the dollar and the CAD are kind of gaining strength right now at the same pace. So like the dollar, as we've seen earlier, is retracing and gaining its strength back. And then the CAD, which was overextended, is now also retracing back and gaining strength. So it's I expect this to just kind of continue the same, kind of just range a little bit. There's not really any trades that I would want to take, but I don't expect this pair to do a lot. USD Swiss, I mean the US dollar is gaining strength, and ideally this would retrace a bit, and I think eventually it will, but the Swiss is just really strong. So that's why I like buying Swiss yen. That's why I like shorting all the Swiss pairs, because the Swiss is strong. So I don't know if this is going to do much. I think it might come up slowly and retrace a bit, but I don't expect a lot. I don't see major movements happening in this pair for the next couple weeks. So I'm going to leave that. USD yen gaining its strength back is most likely. I don't think there's a ton of bullish momentum in the market for this pair, but I think it definitely will hit this area, this retracement period area, and then if it finds if it hits this area and then comes back down a little bit, finds its support, then it might head back to its all-time highs or higher. But we'll just have to wait for the bullish momentum to come in on the other yen pairs before taking that position. I would just wait. I wasn't in this trade yesterday, and I got out of break even. I just didn't. It was before this bullish candle was printed. Obviously, it was only printing this last one here, so it wasn't really enough confirmation for me to just stay in it. I didn't think it was a bad trade. I just didn't think I would make enough money on it to sit in it when I could be focused on other pairs. So that was my USD yen trade. Silver seems to be heading up to this previous area of resistance, and then we'll see what happens here. If it did respect this moving average, but definitely tested it, so we'll see what happens as price trickles into this area. This moving average catches up, and we'll see what it does. There was obviously some support here, so you can see respected, broke, came up, now is respecting again, so that area might function as some resistance if it wants to head higher. Just have to wait. Gold did come up, had a big day yesterday, and now is struggling to break this area. This moving average is catching up, but it's still far away, so I think gold's just going to be kind of slow for a bit. Doesn't really know what it wants to do, so we'll just have to wait. With the dollar gaining strength, like I said before, it should bring gold price down a little bit. Obviously, I don't think it's bearish by any means, but the idea of it blasting up higher and higher is unlikely just based on the dollar index and the dollar getting stronger. I mean, the dollar was very, very weak for a while. It still technically is, but yet gold is not breaking new highs. It's not got crazy, you can see it really kind of went down for a bit. So the fact that the dollar is as weak as it is overall and has been going down quite a bit, and gold hasn't really gone crazy upwards, kind of tells me that we just have to wait and see what it does, because there's just not enough momentum either way. So that is all the Forex pairs for today. I'm going to go over everything and see if I can pick some trades, and then I will release those. So yeah, thanks for watching.